Hi, Karen Craig Parker here with your weekly Human Design Evolution Report. I am hiding out right now in my daughter's room because I moved my office downstairs so that it would be peaceful and quiet. And because it's 2020, as soon as I did that, the pipes burst and now the handyman is downstairs repairing the piping. And I wanted to get this video to you before the end of the week so that you could plan and use the power of this week accordingly, because this week, I think, is really an essential week to dive deep into what you need to contemplate and be aware of in order for you to make the most of 2021. We have a tendency to set our New Year's resolutions at the end of the calendar year, and I always look at the transits at the end of the year and think, that's a really bad time for us to make New Year's resolutions. The end of the year is all about chilling out and eating good food and hanging out with loved ones. And it's not necessarily the kind of provocative energy that we need sometimes to feel a little uncomfortable in order for us to become more aware of where we perhaps want to create change and growth in our lives. We do get that a little bit more towards the beginning of the calendar year. So once we get into January, we do get a little bit of provocation and uncomfortable discomfort about where perhaps we need to make changes in order to make the most of the calendar year. But this week is really, I think, a powerful week for us to explore what we need to shift and change. So the sun starts this week in the gate 5. That is the energy of consistency. It's the place in the chart where habits live. So we start the week off with this deep exploration around our habits. Now, habits is a tricky, slippery slope because most of us are trained that the only way to get something done is to be habituated or consistent, and that if you don't have good habits, you don't have some kind of a regular daily practice to your life, then you'll never be successful. The beautiful thing to me about human design is that it shows us that there is no one size fits all to mastery. There is no one size fits all to success. There definitely is no one size fits all to time and time management and scheduling and habits. Some of us, by design, are designed to have habits. I have habits because I'm designed to, and that means that if I get into a situation where I can't have my habits, I'm very uncomfortable and not particularly resilient, even when my basement leaks. Some of us are not designed to be habituated in that way. Some of us are more designed to catch the flow of our creative nature, the flow of our alignment process, and we work better in flow. And some of us have a mix of both. There is no one singular way to get it right. And there is no one set of habits that are necessarily going to make you more successful, better at whatever it is you're trying to do. The only way to get better at doing whatever it is that you are trying to do is to make sure that you're in alignment with your true self, your authentic way of expressing and creating and being in the world, which is really the power of this energy preceding the movement of the sun on Wednesday. Because on Wednesday, we move out of this exploration of habits into an exploration of integrity with the sun moving into the gate 26. Now, I want you to know that the answer to you exploring what works for you and what doesn't in the context of your habits is to be found in the energy of the earth. At the beginning of the week, the earth is transiting in the gate 35, the gate of experience, your past experiences, those places where you connect with the stories of what has worked for you in the past, those times when you might remember that you were really on your game and you stuck to whatever intentions or goals that you set. Those stories, those experiences hold the keys and the clues for your alignment with your right habits or your right flow or your mix of habits and flow, whatever that is in your personal design and whatever that is that works for you and you only. When we move Wednesday, when the sun moves into the gate 26 and the earth into the gate 45, the gate of distribution, We are looking at a theme that we've been exploring all year. The nodes have been highlighting both of these themes significantly. The nodes, which are kind of the plot outline for the story that we're living, that set the tone for what we're trying to master on a bigger level. The nodes have been playing with us all year and inviting us to explore the themes of our relationship between our self-worth and our level of integrity and how we live, create, and sustain ourselves in the world, and our willingness to sustain ourselves enough to where our cup is full or even overflowing so that we have more of ourselves, our resources, our energy, our presence, our essence to give to the world. The gate 45 is a place where generosity lives in the chart, and we are looking at how can we better serve the world. That's been really the question that many of us have been exploring all year, which is why some of us are really looking at making big changes as we roll into 2021. And I think that's a great idea if you feel so inspired, because it's time for you to really live true to who you are and to give all of what you have, that unique once-in-a-lifetime cosmic event essence that only you embody, how you can better share that with the world. The sun and the earth bring us this same theme at the end of this week, inviting us to look at the relationship between our habits or flow or whatever mix we create from individually, the relationship between our habits, I'll just call it habits, but you know what I'm talking about, and our self-worth and our integrity. Are we consciously cultivating patterns and ways of behaving and flow in our lives that support our being able to sustain our sense of value and our energy and our will and our resources? This will center energy that's highlighted by the sun in the 26 and to a certain degree the earth in the 45, because there's a flow from the will to the throat where the 45 lives. This energy invites us to really look at, are we taking care of ourselves? Are we valuing ourselves enough to recognize when our cycles of flow and ebb in our energy need care and restoration? Are we standing in integrity? Are we in physical integrity? Are we using our resources in a way that's rooted in integrity? Are we being true to our identity? Are we in integrity with our identity? Are we in moral integrity? And are we in energetic integrity? All of those 5 ways of being in integrity go up exponentially. We experience them more deeply when we hold our value, when we claim and defend our right place in the cosmic plan, when we hold our preciousness and we sustain it and take care of it, when we are nurturing ourselves, setting good boundaries, using our resources sustainably, when we're using our energy sustainably, when we're making commitments that reflect the value of who we truly are, when we're making relationship connections and staying in consistency and support and interchange and in relationship in a way that's rooted in integrity with our partnerships and our friendships and our loves and our beloveds and our children. When we're doing those pieces, then our will, our energy, our personal self has more energy and consequently more to give. So the exploration this week becomes, how can we better establish rhythm or flow or consistency or flow, depending on how you're configured and what feels good and right for you? How can we use our patterns of consistency and flow to better sustain ourselves, to hold ourselves true to cycles that support us staying in the full expression of our integrity and our value? And how can we then take that value that is us, that story that is our essence, and translate it into a place of service to the world? How can we give back to the world what we have more than enough of, that is rooted and sourced in a place that only we have or that only we can give? We are looking at, what do we have to give? And do we have enough to give? And is there something we need to do to take better care of ourselves so that we can better serve the world? That's our big question. That's our big exploration for the week. And certainly I would say take this exploration with you for the next couple of weeks as we move towards the new calendar year. And in human design, we move towards the new human design year, mid-January. And we're getting to the end of this really intense year, and there's a lot of stuff still happening. Don't worry. I'm going to have a whole special report for you next week about the rest of the year. But it's a really essential time for you to start getting super clear about what's next. You've made it this far. Good job. What's next? And how can you use the heart of who you are to better serve the world in the way that only you can? That's it. Have a great week. Bye.